60mm of this, nice and square, and then we're going to cut a 20mm hole right in the middle, and that should leave us with a nice circle on each side to weld these onto the shaft. So that's the job I've got to do now. I like to do this to keep my vise nice and clean. So the bit I'm going to use is 72mm. So I'm hoping that I can do a really good job of this, and it'll basically just leave me with two identical bits using the 20mm hole saw. Don't know where the drill bit from the middle of there has gone. Oh well, I'll have to use something else. And that's why I bolted it on. So handy, just been able to take it off and put it back on again. I don't know if you saw on the video yesterday, when I was welding this one, because the first tack didn't stick, the nut ended up being a bit raised up on one side, so it's definitely an angle you can see. So that will unfortunately have to be hacked off and done again, but there's no big deal because I have got that 5-blade one I want to put on the back. So sweet. So this is current progress. I've taken the blade hubs off, but that doesn't matter, they're done, so they can just go on. I want to show you this, which is what I've ended up doing to join the gear hub on. So it's going to have 2 bolts go through. That's it, you can see it's now loose. This is a good chance to show you the super bendy flexibleness of the bearings. Let's take that back to there. So now if you look at this bearing housing, see how that's moved up? Just wanted to show you how low I actually will be able to drop the motor. You can see that channel there, it's not even in it, it's underneath it, but because these have got the 15mm hole in the middle, it supports it, so that gives me a lot of adjustment. You can see it on the other side. So to get the motor out, I've just got to undo the 2 screws this side. Sorry, I should have said bolts then, and I undo these two bolts. Then we can take the motor out. Like so. These ones front side should be tight. Yep. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these bolts right down. Same the other side. Then the motor should fall into its deepest position. Too far that side. Come on, baby. Come back. There you go. Remember, this is upside down because it's easier to do messing about with it. So now, if we wanted to raise that up, we just So we join 2 of the wires together. It's very hard to turn. Very hard. And can you hear the stutter? But if I join all 3 together, it's hard to turn, but it's very smooth. That is very hard to turn. So, all good. If we spin it round, this will be AC, and that's only from 2 of the phases. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a worthwhile project, I think. Problem will be how long this will last when it's getting absolutely thrashed to death. Big up! So, the sprockets should have arrived today, but they didn't because the knob head courier couldn't find my address apparently. Anyway, I've got 3 sprockets on order. 2 26 tooth and a 12 tooth, and I just wanted to show you how I imagine the effect to be. So at the top, these are the ones, there's 3 combinations. So the shaft has a 26 tooth and the hub motor has a 26 tooth as well, so that's obviously a 1-to-1 ratio. And I've put that for medium winds, so every time the shaft spins 1 RPM, the hub motor will spin out 1 RPM as well. In this instance, if we had the 26 tooth on the drive shaft and the 12 tooth on the hub motor, then each time the shaft turns 1 RPM, the motor will turn 2.16 times. Now, I've put that as fast wind or in a storm because it needs more torque. It's harder to get going. It's like the top gear on a push bike. And if we put it the other way around and we have a 12 tooth on the shaft and a 26 tooth on the motor hub, it should be easier to turn because the motor hub's only got to do 0.46 of a turn for every time the blade RPM does 1 turn, so that should mean it requires less torque. So I've just put that down as low winds. So they're going to be the different ways I'm experimenting. I'm probably going to use this one first, the easiest one, because I just want to see it spin some. Alright.